What is going on, everybody? We're back on it. Hunter x Hunter chapter 388. Including this chapter, we have 3 left. So in 3 weeks we will be done, which will be the... So let's see, Patreon, you guys should see this on Sunday, the 17th. So the 17th, 24th, the 31st. Last day in January, we will be done. And then YouTube, you guys will see the last chapter on the 5th of February. And after that, that's it. There's no new Hunter x Hunter information. There's no more chapters. There's no anime. And I'll just be stuck like the rest of you. Just sitting there waiting. Hopefully in my lifetime, when I'm still able to cognitively understand what's going on. We'll see. Up to this point, and I'll ask this when we finish. Has there been anything? Have we gotten any news, any hints? You know what would be really great, and I think would give, like, I don't know, because then it's like, who am I to say, you should get on it, but would give him a good start to, like, to make a decision. And I understand, he doesn't want to give his work to anybody else. He's done it himself the whole time, but, like, and who's to say his wife would even want to do it if it was passed to her or left in her responsibility. But I think if he was to, like, green light or go ahead and let the current chapters be animated, that would give him a deadline of, like, okay, by the time they get to chapter 390, I will have needed to start. Just something to kind of, like, up the juices and get them flowing. But it's easy for me to say that when it has nothing to do with me and my health. But I feel like when you put deadlines and expectations, people start moving. But we'll see. So yeah, 3 weeks, we're almost done. We got 3 chapters left. I'm guessing we're not going to get any Gang or Beyond Netero or any of those type of information. It's going to be kind of in this Kurapika T-Dog back and forth. And last chapter we got the big reveal on his ability. I think I have it grasped. I mean, basically what it is if he enters Zetsu completely, 100%, he gets to see 10 seconds into the future. And if he opens his eyes, he is in that 10-second dead time. And before that 10 seconds is up, he can change something if he wanted to change it. So if I'm him, and in 10 seconds, I know I get a phone call, and I don't want my phone call to go off, I see it with my eyes closed. I'm like, okay, my phone's going to ring right at 10 seconds. I can open my eyes. I can sit there and count 1, 2, all the way up to 10. Right before it hits 10, I can, boom, silence my phone. And before, my speaker was on, my phone would be ringing, everybody would hear it. But I silenced it right at 10 seconds. Nobody knows I got a phone call except for me. He can't stop any outside things from happening. Like if a meteor was crash landing into Earth and it was going to blow up the ship that they're on, and he sees that when he goes into Zetsu in 10 seconds, he's shit out of luck. There is nothing he could do. He could move to the left, he could move to the right, he could get under a table. The whole entire ship is going to blow up and he is on it. He is going to die. So I guess when I'm speaking with that, that's kind of where comes in how he could easily be killed or easily be defeated. If I'm trying to think of examples we've seen, just huge area of effect abilities that we've seen. I think we've seen that in some of the Zoldyck members with the grandfather and the father, or like if Grandpa Zoldyck was flying over the ship and did his Dragon Bomb dive thing, and within 10 seconds, I know things are gonna start hitting the ship. Like, where is he really gonna dodge and go? I mean, he could theoretically. I mean, you saw what it did to the mansion, but the room for error is so slim that I don't even know if he would be able to really keep up with that in 10 seconds. I feel like things like that get spammed so quickly, would he even be able to really keep up and react? He'd have to, like, shut it on, shut it off, shut it on, shut it off. And he is pretty smart that maybe he could be able to. But if there was going to be an explosion that exploded the radius of something he couldn't escape in 10 seconds, he's dead regardless. But when it comes down to pure one-on-one speed, I would like to... I don't know if we ever get to see... Well, I don't know if we see it in the next 3 chapters, but I would like to see if it came to pure speed. Think of some of the fastest, like Killua, Miriam, Netero with his hands. He could keep up with Netero, I guess, because he could see that split 10 seconds in the future, but like, man, would he be able to keep up, and like, would he physically be able to keep doing that? You know, I'm guessing, we know everything kind of has a weakness and a setback. I guess his weakness is that he is in Zetsu, but just, he would have to get it down to a point that, because right now his Zetsu is still rough to be able to fully turn it off that we've seen. He doesn't have it to the blink of an eye. That's what he's trying to hypothesize and do at the moment, but basically, if there's a huge area of effect ability that he cannot escape within 10 seconds, there's nothing his ability is going to do to help him survive. That's basically what it comes down to. If there's going to be something that takes up a space he can't escape in 10 seconds, he's dead. Now, when it comes to sure speed against somebody else, I guess if he could on, off, Miriam's hand statue is going to be over here to my left. Let me move to my right. Okay, I'm back up. Okay, the next one's going to be slightly above my head. Let me duck. And if he could just spam it on and off, I guess he could theoretically not get hit forever, if you think about it. And then the argument then becomes, he could just get like slowly closer and closer to somebody and give them a devastating blow. But would he be able to hit hard enough is also the question as well, depending on who he's fighting. I guess that really is about it. There's tons of questions I have on matchups and things he'd be able to do. That was my question I wanted to ask. Now, could somebody on his kind of mental wavelength kind of sense that something is off here? If it kept happening enough times, because like with Theta, I don't know if it was a combination of his ability plus what Melody did, but say like Theta, she sees to shoot him, and right at that 10-second mark, she's going to pull the trigger. She pulls the trigger, and she knows that he's there. At the 9-second mark, he is right there. And at 10, she shoots, and now he's behind her. She's going to be like, what the hell was that? He was literally right there. Now he's behind me. And he's behind you in Zetsu. You're like, okay, what the hell was that? She turns around and does it again. He moves again, like he's not there again. Like at the 9.5-second mark, he's physically there. She pulls the trigger, and all of a sudden he's moved again. I feel like somebody with the intellect of maybe like a gang or somebody would be able to piece together, okay, clearly he's not just sitting there in Zetsu, something is happening. So the question then becomes, can his ability be countered if you don't have a huge AoE ability? I don't know. Could you outsmart that ability? I want to say no, because he's always going to be, I want to say 10 steps ahead, 10 seconds ahead. But I feel like if it was placed in somebody else's smarter hands and mind than me, they probably could. Let's go ahead and get on it. Got my orange juice with the emergency. I'm feeling good. Let's do it. Chapter 388, titled Reflection. Are you sure we should be letting them call all these shots? We have no choice. Learning Nen is our top priority. But if this state of affairs is what they're after, we're playing right into their hands. Oh God, I hate this dude. I hate his face. If they're executing a harmful plan, they'll attempt to manipulate you for their own purposes. But if they attempt any manipulation through Nen, we'll put a stop to it. Just like we warned them, we'll arrest Bill and Kurapika on the spot. We can tell if someone's being manipulated through careful observation. Our own jobs are on the line here. You can trust us. A very overbearing, no matter. If that's what the first prince best men say, we'll leave it up to you. Am I recording? I'm just making sure. Okay, good. That would have been a waste. We have to leave Kurapika and Bill at large to a certain degree to find out their abilities. They're either using abilities that they don't want seen in the other room, or they want us to think that while cutting off that information. If Latulus, comes out, actually able to use Nen, There'll be no doubt they used some kind of ability. Ah, because they don't think he could be able to learn Nen that quick, so they did something to kind of boost it. These participants have too little training to force open the nodes while leaving them unharmed. Yeah. It's possible he has a manipulative ability that semi-coercively opens them, but then Kurapika's aura will be mixed in. If I see multiple examples, I'll be able to tell if they're being controlled by Kurapika's aura. But Kurapika's a specialist. If the victim awoke to Nen as a byproduct of his ability, I could understand Kurapika's confidence in the timeline he gave. In that case, the only things we'd know for sure are that Kurapika is a specialist, he baited us with the allure of learning Nen, and he used his ability to make us into defensive pawns. He's shrewd. It's not very likely, but we can't eliminate the possibility that Bill's ability is the real deal, and this is all a distraction. They proceed by releasing information piecemeal. You're right that we'd be digging our own graves by being impatient. He's a tough one. Yes, endorsed by the First Prince soldiers. Can you reaffirm the Prince's orders? Yes. Wait, so are they, what just happened? Oh, Jesus. Oh, she came out with Nen around her. So, what's the deal here? The volume of aura flow has clearly increased. That's the sign of someone who's learned Nen and is ready for the training to control it. Without prior knowledge, you'd think she'd practice the basics for at least 3 hours every day for a year. Well, I can't be certain with only one case, but I don't believe she's being controlled. Wow. Well, you did the divination, didn't you? Oh, sorry, I can't talk about it. She doesn't. Yeah, we can't be giving out that information. For an impartial diagnosis and to avoid guesswork, I'm instituting a gag order on all results until everyone is through. If a violation is discovered, we'll cancel the class itself on the spot. I urge you to comply. I suppose 10, I don't know if that's the person's name, the third Prince Royal Guard will be the last to go. They're using guards of higher ranked princes to deter intentional violations. If a violation causes a cancellation, I would also censure the culprit. Alright, you're next. Get on in there, old man. Considering your age, your learning speed is commendable. You must keep things confidential, even to whoever that is, during this time. Is that alright? Even when I know it's strategy and a means to an end, flattery. Doesn't feel half bad. Fine, but if I feel any danger, I might withdraw. Of course, this way, please. Oh, so he's going to do his divination. I forgot what we were even doing with the group. I thought we broke off in groups based on what your divination test is. But had we not done the divination, or did they say that's what was going to happen? We haven't caught up with them in a minute. I think we had the Cacho incident, everything with T-Dog, and now we've circled all the way back around to them. So I guess the last time we left off, they had said, did they say we're going to do the water divination test, and then depending on what you are, we're going to break into groups? I think that's where we left off. So everything I will say from here is fact. You don't have to believe me. Our priority is to protect the lives of the 14th Prince Wobble and 8th Queen Mito. For that, I will share Nen and its information with you. You were sincere that your goal is a stalemate through a balance of forces? Exactly. The water divination is normally used to distinguish ability type once you've learned Nen. Here it will be used to demonstrate a successful awakening to Nen. Huh? A seed is inside the cup. Normally it would be water and nothing else. But in this case, it's a necessary part of the process. I don't think we've ever seen, or at least me, I haven't seen anything related to whatever the hell he's talking about, excuse me. Please continue. Like I've explained throughout this week, Nen can be learned by anyone, but there are individual differences in speed and it cannot be mastered in a day. The unorthodox method is to force it through an attack using Nen. Caution is a normal response, but I swear I will not harm any of you. The word attack is convenient for conveying the taboo on it, but the term also includes healing and lending abilities. I see. Bill? Ah, so he does the overflow. So Bill's an enhancer. Did we already know that? I don't know. Bill is an enhancer. He can induce, and like, I'm sorry if I don't know, remember what the hell Bill does. We haven't caught up with this, anything from him in a while. Bill is an enhancer. He can induce the growth of his target with his Hatsu. Oh shit, and the seed, sprouted. Wow. So my ability will awaken if you hold your hand over me like that? No, it's not as effective or on untrained people, and it won't be fast enough to keep our timetable. I'm going to borrow Bill's ability, then lend it to you. What the fuck? Technically, this is an indirect attack, but it's a lone type specialist move. And the ability itself is not aggressive in nature, but it has a side effect of semi-coercively waking Nen and someone without abilities. Oh, like what she did to, I don't remember Wobble's name. Oito, I think. Wobble's mom. If you remain unconvinced, I won't do it. You will open the door and let them know you declined. I'd like you to keep what we talked about confidential, but I know I can't bind you to it. Alright, so he borrowed Bill's ability, stuck him with it, and now all of a sudden his pores are opened. But we didn't find out what he could. We didn't find out what he was, though. Oh, yeah, because we're supposed to be waiting, I guess. Alright, and the man comes out dripping in Nen. He's pretty clearly not being manipulated. Mayor had been primed to use Nen. What Kurapika said is true. Now, we know for sure that Kurapika used his specialist ability to induce Nen awakening, but it's probably only one of multiple abilities he has. The information he purposely gives us acts as a deterrence. If he has a different ability on each finger, as seems apparent, then we might as well still know nothing about his ability exactly. I'm trying to think back to what Oito, if that's her name, I should probably stop saying it if it's incorrect. Did we see what her, because they were teaching her, but we didn't see what she had learned or what her abilities were, or ability for that matter, after she had been given the dolphin ability. We just know that her like Nen pores were awakened. So Kurapika, the same way that Wing opened Gon and Killua's Nen pores, he did it forcibly. Like it really did cause them like physical, like a little bit of strain, pain, but it opened it. Kurapika's on the other hand, if you are given the steel dolphin, it will automatically open your Nen pores. You won't know how to use it. You won't know how to use Nen or what your ability is, I'm sure, but it instantly awakens it for you. Which you're skipping that process of, training just the Ren over and over and over, like I guess, kind of like the early stages of things we saw. I think a few more of you will be able to get to this point today. However, the end goal is still to come, which is mutual deterrence. The main thing is to be seen as a Nen user on first glance. This appearance will give you the corresponding defense as a result. So what he said was true. Yes, all true. It's like he's just over here having a conversation as he's glowing like Super Saiyan. Amazing. I can tell that I'm overflowing with vitality, the aura rising like steam. It makes sense that continuous discharge would soon cause exhaustion. Yeah, I mean, are y'all gonna get on them soon before they just pass? They're just leaking energy, basically. Just like holding your breath. Imagine closing off pores and then slowly breathe out. They appear to be in training for all intents and purposes, except for the incongruously massive amount of aura. If that's an act, it's not a feat through manipulation. Oh my god. These are people we're taking. Okay, I was about to say, Kurapika's just sticking people in the middle of the open. Seeing a highly skilled soldier with that much aura would necessitate caution and eliminate any physical. Yeah, exactly. Like if you saw a soldier or somebody's bodyguard and they came around the corner and you saw them like flowing with all that, you'd be like, okay, hold on, we gotta reassess our plan here. Kurapika probably intends to repeat these classes. Is there any plausible Excuse to stop them. Yeah, they can't. Everybody's gonna be walking around just as strong as them. Maybe not the same numbers, because Bill or First Prince has an army at his disposal, but Steel Dolphin talking to her. And like he's teaching the maids and shit too. Like everybody's getting in. We are currently connected through Kurapika's ability. The right to use Bulb Fleabane, the ability I am loaded with, has been transferred to you. Call on it to activate and you will be able to do the same thing as Bill. Whoa. We still don't know that we're not getting anybody's abilities here because all they're able to do is that specific ability. So everybody's going to walk out of here doing the same thing Bill did as an enhancer, but they're not all enhancers. We just have the Nen pores opened. Then we've got to train it down. That aura is borrowed, so it's not your ability, but you've been primed, so by learning Ten and Hatsu through breathing exercises, you will be able to perform the water divination by yourself and find out your type confidentially. Oh, are we going to do it here? Huh? What about what you said earlier? It was too complicated to explain, and I wanted to know how far you all were willing to go. If possible, I don't want there to be any more victims from the succession battle. Do they know what's going on outside? For that, I want to share these abilities with as many people as I can. It would help if you could tell 10th Prince Kacho and 6th Queen Psycho with a positive spin that we're planning more classes. Sure, thank you. You really expect these people to walk out of here and not tell what's been going on? Kurapika's strategy is undoubtedly the best for the current situation, but I've seen many an honest poor man change dramatically when they strike it rich. Yeah. The kind of thing is impossible to predict. Power corrupts, more so if it aligns with interest. My ability isn't suitable for combat, and I'm betting neither is Kurapika's. If the tides change and the succession battle is inevitable, we might end up being crushed by the power we gave out. Does he have any cards up his sleeve? That's all for today. No, I don't even have to ask. It's good enough. We held our ground through this unpredictable mess with ad hoc measures. I agree, because like as great as Kurapika is and what he's able to do, he's more suited for one-on-one. Maybe could stretch it to one-on-two. But y'all get bombarded by Bill's men or just outnumbered. What the hell are y'all going to do? You know, what are you actually going to do? They won't be able to hold their ground at all. Especially if one of the princes attacks with their men as well. It's like having to deal with the spirit beast. It's just going to be a mess, and Kurapika doesn't have that type to really keep up. Bill, I wanted to thank you. What for? A supportive ability for an enhancer is rare with men. Most try to increase combat strength. I know it's better for you that it not be known. Oh, that's it? You took the initiative to tell everyone your ability, even if it was strategy. I couldn't not do it. Are you sure you want to continue? It's possible we won't even make it to our real destination. Maybe. Beyond ordered me on board to travel to the new continent, but I chose room 1014 myself. The prince was a baby, and I figured there wouldn't be any serious combat. Well, you thought wrong. Once the battle and the slaughter was underway, I acted tough, but sure, I was conflicted. But I didn't want to escape for pathetic reasons. From a place I chose for equally pathetic reasons, then Vincent showed up. He pissed me off. I'm a coward who finally prepared myself for the worst after listening to your exchange with the Queen. Bill's cowards don't steal themselves. Oh shit, what do you want? In exchange for temporarily going last, I wanted to do the water divination. I'd feel better if one of us used Nen earlier. Your instincts are correct. The abnormal rumbling felt threatening to anyone with Nen. I wouldn't be surprised if various factions started taking steps. But Hashito, you haven't practiced the basics like the students. You will temporarily suffer fatigue, stronger than anyone else, to the point where you won't even be able to stand. I should be the one with the ability, but just in case it's all a trap, basic training should be enough to help now that we're going to be here longer anyway. Ah, shit, we switched rooms. Okay. Let's see what this old man's gonna say. So the 14th prince has the strongest truce with the 3rd prince, but it's for a limited time and not on equal terms. There are plenty of cracks to exploit. The new training was authentic. I can feel it. Everyone should have this power. Thank you. Continue negotiating for an alliance. So you think we should proactively learn Nen? Absolutely. Yes, there's basically no danger of a trap. Presenting a trusting attitude will improve our chances for an alliance. Alright, I'll consent to further lectures. You pick who goes. Yes, ma'am. Aw, shit. Contrary to blatant war counsel, her Nen beast never shows itself. Shouldn't I go to the 9th prince, which is more urgent, instead of wasting time? I want your ability to definitely slay the 9th prince's Nen beast. Be patient for now. He has a point, but there's no guarantee that 5th prince Nen beast is less dangerous than 9th prince's Halkenberg's, just because it's hidden. The danger is the same no matter where I am. If I don't research the enemy ability myself, my predator won't grow. If I avoid risk, my ability won't live up to its potential. Oh my god, this is a lot of text. Oh shit. That's not all. Mirror's aura, his nodes are open, primed to the final stages of the learning Nen. It's an astonishing improvement from this morning. This Kurapika is seriously aiming for equilibrium through proliferation. Even a Nen novice could pose a threat depending on the nature of their ability. Yeah. Yeah, that's what's crazy is like you said, you could be a Nen novice, but depending on what your ability comes out to be or manifest as, you could slaughter half the ship in like one go, depending on what it is, and you could literally have just learned Nen this morning. Having a clear purpose to defend the prince's will impact the characteristics of their Nen beast. Abilities to discern, counteract, or outright seize enemy abilities. Abilities like mine that work in opposition are bound. Yeah, because like we've seen, Nen abilities kind of go with like characteristics, things in the past, wants, etc. Everybody here is on like sentry mode, defense. How do I protect? How do I capture? How do I attack? So these abilities are going to be like everyone's going to be sprouting these built for combat abilities. When if they were in a different setting, those things might not have sprouted. It will become more and more dangerous while we twiddle our thumbs. We must act sooner rather than later. I'd want Predator to eliminate Kurapika, the root cause of all this, but that would mean discerning all hypothetical 5 abilities. That's not realistic. Yeah, because they're over here. And what's crazy is like, I mean, maybe it's more obvious, but like how the other guards are like, okay, he probably has ability on every finger, and he's like, okay, how do I go through all 5 of these abilities? It's not realistic, etc. The Predator goes on autopilot, making someone with multiple abilities a near impossible target, especially because it has no way to evade a counterattack. In the case of an enhancer or emitter, the person themselves becomes the target. But this means Predator is prone to a counterattack. It's not invincible, and if it doesn't come out perfectly suited to hit the target, it surely fails. Considering I need 48 hours to recharge after use, these risks are only worth it because if it is perfect, it's devastatingly effective. So I should go after 9th Prince Halkenberg, not 5th Prince. My ability will be put to better use in room 1009, even with the risk. If the 9th Prince Halkenberg is already making moves, I must find out the enemy ability with no prior knowledge, and I have to do this myself, or the Predator will not grow powerful. Securing safety in the aid of others will only weaken it and increase the risk of failure. Balancing risk and timing rides on experience. Since it's a life or death decision, everyone must be confident of their own instincts. I understand the captain ordered patience considering the overall picture using his years of experience, but aren't we being too careful after Shikaku's suicide? Isn't it progress that we learned 9th Prince Halkenberg either has a manipulator by his side or his Nen beast is a manipulator? Maybe. Think, Ronan, why did I tell you to be patient? You're likely mistaken in your judgment of the enemy ability, but then I am uncertain of the truth. Are they speaking telepathically, or like, is this a convert? Like, I don't see speech bubbles, I just see speech. Or talking to himself? I cannot give you advice since that's the crux of your ability. Yeah, he needs to get all that information himself. There are hints Shikaku was a manipulator. You must get to the answer from there. But if he wasn't manipulated, what ability could make him choose death over his own free will? Did he offer his life in exchange for a guarantee of the first prince's safety? No way Shikaku knows the act of begging for one's life is what First Prince Benjamin abhors the most. So overt, the narcissistic exhibitionist 8th Prince Sail would never withdraw from a concert just because he wasn't feeling well. If he was really that sick, he would happily broadcast the fact to immerse himself in the myth of a tragic hero. Since neither is the case, 8th Prince Sail is dead, and then the shuffling of First Prince Benjamin's soldiers means he was assassinated and I'm next. At least you're putting pieces together, because a lot of people aren't. Cause of death. And if he was assassinated by Nen, I have to make a list of conceivable abilities and come up with countermeasures. Giving those who awakened to Nen this information with the mission may affect their abilities. True, that's what I'm saying too. Like I said earlier, a lot of people's, if this goes like it's been going, it's like, all right, next, you get Nen, next, Nen. Everybody that's going to these is going for like a purpose or higher like duty to protect their given princes. The Nen abilities that are gonna manifest are going to be actually insane for this specific situation. I'd like to see the shift logs of First Prince Benjamin's soldiers, but it might give them an excuse to use national defense to turn the suspicion back onto me. I must be patient. Could I ask what happened in room 1008 via Mother's guards who was spying on 8th Prince Sail? Sal? I don't know. He's dead anyway. At this point, Camilla finding out will be inevitable. Finding out the cause of death and the situation in the room comes as a set. I can talk to Mother myself. It's too risky to contact the second queen soldiers myself. Mother would never make a decision without talking to Camilla. If I get them okay, I should assume Camilla is in on it. I can't expect Mora to defend against Nen yet. Yeah, they're... Oh, now you want Kurapika. What a shocker. A fourth rumbling of aura. The intervals are getting shorter. What do you mean fourth rumbling of aura? The intervals are getting shorter. Did I miss something? Maybe I did. Or are we sensing Halkenberg stuff or T-Dog? Or what? Are we sensing something else? Possibly. Speaking of Camilla, I could see her being somebody that could kill T-Dog if he, given what her ability can do. Like say, switch Theta with Camilla, what happened a couple chapters ago. Camilla's ready to shoot him right at the 10-second mark. And instead, he switches, shoots her. I don't know how long her little kind of Nen after death thing takes to activate. But say he does that. Switches places with her, instead pulls his own gun, shoots her in the head. Wants to see, make sure everything's good. Goes back in. Sees 10 seconds has passed and she's actually dead. He's like, wow, I'm fine. And he's sitting there thinking he's alright, maybe mocking her, whatever he wants to do. He turns his back. She sprouts up, shoots him again. Like, I could see things like that, because it's like, if you have no idea what her zetsu is, I mean, he could theoretically stay in that zetsu and look at her dead body for 10, 20, 30, a minute plus, and make sure nothing crazy like that happened. But given his current state now, what does he really know about Nen after death? Would he even think of something like that could happen? So that could be a way I could see that happening. Or if something was to interrupt him while he was doing that and he wasn't able to hold it, that could throw off things as well. Maybe Camilla sprouts back to life at the 9-second mark. But at the 8-second mark, somebody busts up in his room and it throws him off, I could see things like that. So we caught up with Kurapika here. We're just unlocking everybody's Nen, and like I said, and what people are saying, the abilities that could sprout from this, given the current climate of everybody's situation, could be, I mean, it could be huge for those that need the attack and defending, but it could be devastating for people like Bill, and like what they were saying. What is it that he said? It's going to get that much harder. Seeing a highly skilled soldier with that much ore would necessitate caution and eliminate any, like, they're not going to have those advantages. It tends to repeat the, yeah, it's just going to be a mess, an absolute mess. Now, I can't remember, but is the Steel Dolphin with Emperor Time activated? Like, is Kurapika having to keep this shit on still? Or is it off? I think it's off. Didn't he pass out and wake back up? I think it is. I don't think the Steel Dolphin requires him to be in Emperor Time. I don't think so. He already shut it off once they got rid of the, once Oito was no longer able to use the ability. I think that's when he passed out, and he's just been back in normal state, I think. So what did we say Bill's ability was? He can induce the growth of his target. What do we mean by that? Like, could he age somebody if he wanted to? Could he all of a sudden fast forward somebody and make them, take them from Kurapika's age of like 20 and make all of a sudden Kurapika 100 years old? What do we mean by induce the age of his target? We'll see if we get more explanations on that, but nothing too crazy there. Still just, you know, mind rattling about the T-Dog stuff, but we'll kind of leave it there and go from there, and we'll see what the last 2 chapters have to offer. That's it, huh? We really made it, boys. We got 2 chapters left. I'm gonna be hanging out just like the rest of you. But yeah, we'll discuss it when we get there. I appreciate it. Again, Patreon members, the last Avatar episode will be uploaded this week. You guys will also be getting the full-length Attack on Titan episode 6, which is about to be wild as well. Yeah, Patreon members, I mean, YouTube, this will be up on Friday, and we'll keep pushing. Like, share, subscribe, as always.